Guys, this is Late Night Live, episode 23, and I got the soundboard working, so we are ready to rock tonight. We have a special guest, everyone. Guy 88 is in the house. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm here to put out all the space fires that happened tonight. That's what I'm here to do.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ace of Jack's Media Grounds, Chris, how are you, sir?
Good. Ready to talk about all the fun games this week, and we can discuss Star Wars and the ever exploding Death Star.
Was there exploding Death Star?
That's what the Star Wars franchise seems to be, is just a Death Star that's on its way out the door.
Oh, brother.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there we go. You got some fans. Dathan, 8-bit gaming legend.
Hello, class.
How are you, sir?
I am doing okay. Ready to talk about some awesome Star Wars stuff and the awesome summer Game Fest. That was the term awesome used very, very lightly in that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll get to all that. And Travis, welcome back, sir.
Hey.
You weren't feeling well last week. Glad you're back.
Yes, I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to getting caught up on what I missed last week and what news I missed going into today, actually.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. My browser went kapooey for a second. Travis, did you play any games last week? Let's go around and just talk about that real quick.
Hogwarts Legacy, until they patched it yesterday and caused eternal crashing on all platforms.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm playing on PC and it just crashes I figured out that if I turned off hardware accelerated scheduling, graphic scheduling, that it allows me to play for maybe an hour, I think, without it crashing. But for me, it was like every 15 minutes, every time you fast traveled. So I went and I looked, and it's like PS5's in a worse state and Xbox is in a horrible state as well. So I don't know what QA they did on this big announcement patch that they did to bring everybody up to the same, and then also kind of launch their announcement that they were going to be selling a director's cut version of the game. But they should have QA'd it if they wanted a better look. So yeah. Yes. Very appropriate. So yeah, so then after that mess, I went back to playing some virtual pinball. So yeah, there's always that.
Sorry. I was like, why am I getting 10 notifications on my phone? I'm putting my phone away. All right. Dathan, did you play any games last week?
Did. I played some Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think I'm at the tail end of that. I think I've pretty much got all the contracts and all the people disposed of. A little bit more Vampire Survivors Contra DLC. I did get to play the John Wick pinball finally.
Oh, did you really?
At next.
What's this?
Not next level. Public House in Happy Valley, Oregon.
Holy moly! And I got video of it.
It is a good machine. That was just the base model. It wasn't the limited,
Pro machine.
the Pro, whatever the lowest one is, I think. But it was good. It levels up like Deadpool does. So when you rank up, as you save your stats with your Stern app. It was good. It was a good time. I'm looking forward to playing the limited or the next level one, the higher version. Yeah, and they had a Pulp Fiction too, which going from John Wick to Pulp Fiction is a little weird because Pulp Fiction is really slow, and then going to the John Wick is it's way different. But it's a good machine. I like it. I have fun with it.
I've never seen that Pulp Fiction machine. I think that's a newer one too, but it's not a Stern.
No,
right?
It's not. I didn't see any company writings on the front panels or anything like that. I got a couple pictures that I could probably look and maybe find it, but I didn't see anything directly on there.
It's supposed to be a throwback to like an older school table, right, Nathan?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it looks like you got a cool multi-ball going on here.
They
Dang.
have with the Pulp Fiction, they have kind of, I think it was Sopranos, where they have a mature rating and a not mature rating.
Yeah.
And which is pretty cool. That one was that was the mature rating. So
that was the mature one. Yeah.
Yeah. And you could tell right away, even if you just walk up and push the button when there's no credit, he says something that's not PG-13 appropriate.
Right.
But it was good. I had a good time with it.
There we go. Thank you for that video. Eric sent that over. He's not here tonight, obviously. I think he had some prior engagement, but I appreciate any kind of video like that. If you guys ever are out and about, feel free to send it. Now that I figured out how to play it on here. Also, real quick in the chat, Meg is here, and Joseph Ricci. Thank you for joining, guys. Chris, did you play any games last week?
I'm still playing Paper Mario Origami King. I was also checking out some more of System Shock, the remake that they did on the Xbox. Yeah.
Okay, you got someone in your chat, dude.
Yeah, it happens.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, that's all I played is the Paper Mario this week.
So can I ask Chris, how do you think of the like the fighting style of that one compared to the other ones, where it's kind of like that turn based? The Origami King is a little different than it was on the older ones, if I remember right?
Yeah, it's interesting because you have to try, and you have like a time limit to try and figure out how to line up the enemies in order to fight them. And if you do it right, then the battles are pretty easy. But if you don't line them up just right, you can end up like allowing the enemies a turn to attack you. And so I kind of like the challenge of doing that. You can also spend coins to like increase that time limit so you have more time to actually look. But there's something kind of fun having that time limit and being forced to try and think as quick as you can what needs to be rotated, how you need to do everything. It's definitely a learning curve. It's probably the least like kid-friendly version of the Paper Mario games that they've put out in that way. But
ain't nobody got time for that.
and that soundboard. It's definitely I think it's kind of a funner game in that way to me, just with the push of you gotta try and hurry up and think as fast as you can. So so far I'm only 2 bosses in out of 6, so I don't feel like I've gone very far in the 10+ hours I've played.
Well, you'll get there. I'm playing Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door with my son right now. We're having a good time with it. Galaga Guy 88. Did you play any video games last week?
I'm still. I know I've said this for a couple a little while. I'm still on Xenoblade 3. I'm like, that game's just taking me forever to get through. So usually I only have a few hours a week to play video games with the kids and everything. So I'm still chipping away at that one as far as, video games. And then obviously been in the arcade. So playing some Mappy this week and Dig Dug and some virtual pinball too. So that's what I've kind of been doing here.
Nice. I have the same problem with my kids. Like you got to find the time to zone out and relax, and we get things situated with them, and you want to be there for them, but at the same time you need some alone time, you need some game time, and it's a hard balance for sure. We definitely didn't have this when we were younger.
Yeah, I think the saving grace, that's why I ended up playing the Switch a lot, is because it's a handheld. I got a Steam Deck too, and it's like just because they can still have the TV while I can have the handheld and just play a game. So that's kind of a saving grace.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good. And so you got a Switch and you have some current consoles then.
Yes, I got a Switch, I got an Xbox, and a Steam Deck. That's what I have.
Okay. Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. But how many arcade 1-ups do you got right now?
Just arcade 1-ups or just I think arcades is like arcade 1-ups.
Yeah.
I have probably 20 arcade 1-ups and like 30 arcades altogether.
Wow.
Yeah. So this started out in 1 bedroom, then went to 2 bedrooms, and my wife's like, "You got to move it down to the basement, to the boiler room," and it just kept going. So I was like, "Well, if I have this much room, then I can get some real arcades." That's where Galaga came in and the Vulex and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yes.
All right. Okay, we'll get going here. So let's talk about Star Wars at the end. So today was Summer Game Fest. Did you guys? Oh yeah, exactly. Did you guys? Most of you guys got to watch it, right? Or watch clips of it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll get to the first one here. So I took a couple clips, and the first one that caught our eye, at least my son's, was the new Lego Horizon adventure game. I was surprised to see it's not done by TT Games. That's the normal game company that does these Lego games. So I'm interested in it. What did you guys think?
I've never played any Lego games, so I have no comment.
What are you talking about?
This is the first one that I was kind of interested in, but it is interesting that it's not Tall Tales, Traveler Tales, TT Games, whatever, and instead it's Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo that are making this one. So I don't know if this is going to play more like a adventure game and less like the regular Lego games that have been out there. It certainly looks interesting. So
it's a mystery.
So is this going to come out on all the systems? I don't remember.
Well, that was the other thing that happened today. It was announced for PlayStation 5 and PC day one, but not Xbox. I thought that was really interesting. Sony is really protective of this brand. They want to make this their baby, and they do not want it on Xbox. So sorry if that's all some of you guys have out there, and you wanted to play this. I'm sorry. Maybe it'll get ported eventually, but I doubt it. I think they're going to keep this one close to the vest.
Well, it's going to be on the Switch too, so I think that's just it's strange that they're not doing Xbox.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you'd seen the comments from the head of Sony with their PC game plan is all their new IPs are going to be released on the PC and PlayStation 5 day one, but any sequels will be released solely on the PlayStation system, and then down the road they'll release the PC version to try and force people to buy the PlayStation system if they want to continue.
Jesus. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured it probably wouldn't be on Xbox though, just because of the Horizon. I was like, I bet you that's not gonna go. Which is weird because usually Legos is everywhere, so it's kind of a weird setup. But yeah.
All right. I'll fiddle into it. Maybe I'll wait for some super chats or something. I got a couple other ones I haven't even played yet. All right, so any of you guys gonna pick this up? Chris, you're interested? Dathan, Travis?
No, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to go back and try one of the Lego games that the IP would interest me more in, to be honest.
Okay. Travis, since you're playing the Harry Potter game, so do I need to skip ahead here? This was announced today. I don't know if you saw that. I heard they were working on this, and in the Harry Potter game you're playing right now, there was no Quidditch sport in the game.
Yeah,
like
I don't
you
know
can
what
fly
that
your
is.
you can fly your broom,
right?
But yeah, there's none of that in there. So interesting. There's going to be a separate game for that, and I think this is going to sell really well. So
will it be because again, I don't really know much about that Harry Potter world or whatever. The Quidditch is like soccer or maybe more like cricket. So is this going to be like what's the game? Darn it, I'm spacing on the name, but my friends play a like cricket style game that they're constantly playing, and it may not even be cricket style, but they're playing it all the time. I've heard this like it's on the tip of my tongue. Super popular game.
Rocket League?
Yeah, Rocket League. That's the one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So is Rocket League a bit like a Quidditch style thing, or do you think that this will be kind of their attempt at taking the success of Rocket League and throwing it into the Harry Potter, like, trying to piggyback off that whole franchise?
Probably want that. I think Rocket League is free to it's free to play. So
is it?
This one, I guarantee you, it's gonna cost at least $40. I bet it's gonna be a full price $70 game.
Yeah, you kind of spoiled it for me. I thought that somewhere during this game, because they keep making me do the broom competitions, I expected somewhere them to be like, "Oh, surprise! We just launched the Quidditch tournament, so now you get to go do it."
Right.
But I guess not. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's just like Wizard Blitzball. Alikrian says. I'm sure Alikrian's seen all the movies. Right, Chris.
I don't know. He might have. Blitzball was from
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What was it?
Blitzball was from Final Fantasy X. It was a horrible water game that you played that just caused the game to come to a complete stop when you were forced to play it. And it's like, all
right. Adam Dark Empire doesn't like this game, so we're gonna move on. Okay. All right, I get it. Did you guys?
And now here's the world premiere of a brand new Power Rangers game with a retro feel.
All new Power Rangers game. Looks like Galaxy
this
Guy 88's into this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love beat 'em ups.
This looks like a what was that one? Battletoads.
Oh yeah.
It looks like Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge to me.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I think this is made by Digital Clips, so
This is the part that made me think of Battletoads. Was when
Yeah.
they're racing on the bikes. So
hopefully it's not as hard as
I need to get sunglasses for that sound clip. But I think we totally got to get that game, you guys. How many players is it? It's got to be how many Power Rangers are there? So is it like it's got to be 5. Like 5 on the screen at the same time? You'd think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too loud? I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure this out. Meatball. You there, Chris? What?
Yep, I'm still here.
I wonder if they'll do what Shredder's Revenge did and like add in characters that didn't really fight, but just like make him fight, like April. It's like, oh, now she can fight like a ninja too. So I wonder if they'll add someone on here too to make it 6 or whatever.
Well, yeah. Can you unlock the Green Ranger, the dead one? Oh,
did you have to add in the dead one?
All right. I'll try to fix it. I'm sorry. This is my first time with the soundboard. All right. Moving on. Seems like you guys are kind of lukewarm on that one. I had this clip. You guys knew what this was when you saw it, right?
Dune Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We talked about this before. So it looks like this is they're gonna talk about the story in this. How we were wondering like how you would do single player in the Dune universe, because like certain events happen and you don't want to. I mean, maybe you want to replay the movies, but they're gonna completely like change time, and they're gonna pretend like Paul was never born. Sounds like. So you're going to be, I don't know if you're going to be a completely new character or what's going to happen, but events are going to change. Like that events that are in the first Dune movie aren't going to happen, and that'll obviously change events in the second Dune movie. So I'm excited for this. I don't know if they said if it was going to be this year or not. I don't know if we got a release date, but I totally want to play this. Any of you guys else interested in this?
I might check it out. I actually just watched Dune 2 on this past weekend. Because I hadn't seen it. I've been slacking. It was good. I liked it a lot. But the game, we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
What type of game is it? Is it like an RPG? Is it like what type
they didn't show gameplay, did they? So
no, right. So that's what I'm just kind of wondering. I'm like, what exactly is it? Open world survival MMO. Okay, there it is. That's my answer right there.
Yeah.
After I asked,
it's the same question I was wondering though, because I was waiting for it to just be another not another, but a real-time strategy game like the classics were.
Yeah. Well, it's Funcom, and the last game they put out was Conan Exiles, which has a great opening cinematic and everything, but once you start getting into the game and playing, it gets boring real quick. And so I'm hoping there's a little bit more to this than there was with Exiles, because I think the most recent update they did with Exiles added more that made it a little bit more fun, but if you're playing by yourself, it's kind of a dull game. So I don't know. This might be one. I mean, I had 5 games that I'd seen that I was interested in. And so...
well, I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I know.
How about this one, Chris?
Up next, we have Sonic X Shadow Generation.
Well, I just spoiled it. Thanks, whoever you are, lady. New Sonic game, but it's not a new Sonic game. It's a remaster or remake of Sonic, was it Generations? From, I don't know, what was this, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? but they're adding Shadow. Man, it's, Sega, they're putting out a Sonic game every year now, it seems like. So, you know, I might play it, and hopefully it's not a completely $70 game. I'm thinking if this is $40, I might pick it up. It could be a good Nintendo Switch game. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, what platform do they release them on, the Sonic ones?
I think they released them on everything.
Released them on all of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason says it was a 2011 game.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll get this or not. Usually, the thing with Sonic games is that they usually go real cheap within like 6 months. And you can get it like a lot cheaper. So usually I wait on Sonic games.
Your brother says he's excited. Generations was one of the best recent Sonic games. So there we go.
I still think they need to remake the 2006 Sonic game. You know,
they need to remake the last one from a couple years ago that had all that pop in it. When I can't even remember that game. I made it to the desert level and I quit.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it either.
Seems like, we all had it.
Which one was the one where like you made your own character? Which one was that one? Because I didn't really care for that one. I think that's the last one I played. And like there was all these characters I didn't even recognize. I was like, who is this white hedgehog? And I didn't understand half of what was
his brother.
On. Okay. Yeah, I was really confused.
No, the one we've been playing there's a Roblox version of Sonic the Hedgehog. If you go into Roblox, someone created a entire game in Roblox it's just Sonic the Hedgehog. It's pretty impressive. Some of the stuff you can do in that game. Crazy. All right, so it sounds like you guys are kind of on that one too. How about Chris? This one. Killer Bean. Sounds like this was made by one guy. So it's more of like an indie title.
Yeah, there was quite a few indie titles that were announced.
There's a reason why I'm called Killer Bean. It's because I'm good at what I do. Really.
Yeah, it's a hard pass for me. That's not gonna happen.
Man, Travis is
good.
Travis is hard to please tonight.
No, that's Dathan, not me.
I used to be an assassin in the Shadow Wick.
Yeah.
An international organization.
Good at all. I don't think I enjoyed really pretty much anything that was on here. I'm just waiting for Xbox on Sunday.
Okay.
I did wish list one game on Steam though.
What about
which one?
Which one?
Hold on, let me pull up. Shrines Legacy. It is a 16-bit style co-op Zelda style top-down view game.
You do like the Zelda stuff.
I don't think they showed anything on the game file. I think it was a separate thing, but it looked pretty good.
This game I thought looked interesting. So it's like a climbing game. Like you never see that kind of stuff. Well, you see climbing in video games, but this is just pure climbing. I'm intrigued by it, and the graphics look really nice. I think this is also by kind of a more indie studio, I believe. I think they said they're making this in France or something. So maybe if this comes to Game Pass, check it out.
Yeah, but there was the VR climbing, the climb, right?
Oh, right,
that
right.
That was fun for what it was. So, but part of what made that fun was the VR aspect. So I don't know, like, if my attention would be captured as much. I mean, not saying it wouldn't, but I wonder.
I feel like this game would have a very, rocky start, but you get there eventually.
Yeah.
Should I play the sound effect? All right. Oh, I think I'll check that out. All right. Next one. Chris, you got to be interested in this one. This one is Phantom Blade Zero. I think this. Let me get to the gameplay.
It looked interesting, but it wasn't one of the 5 that I was actually interested in.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you guys need to give me a heads up on which games you're interested in next time. I think this looks cool. It kind of looks like Elden Ring a little bit to me. Which,
like
by
a
the way,
Samurai Elden Ring.
Yeah, exactly. You're that single player stuff. Looks like you fight a lot of bosses.
Commander Cleave. I mean, the naming scheme is spot on
true.
right there.
Man, you are, yeah.
Is that Jade Dancer? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could be a lot of fun. It just wasn't one of the 5 that I was looking at.
Yeah, Saiyan Spirit says he wants that one. There we go. Thank you.
It's on a world tour demo right now too. So
right. Let's go out to Shanghai in July. You guys down? All right. I guess that's all the video I have from the show. There was some other stuff. There was, I think they leaked a demo, or it's not leaked, but there's a demo out of the G.I. Joe beat 'em up game. It's on Steam now. You guys might want to check that out. I saw Adam in the chat was sharing that earlier. The Thing looks like they're making a remake of that game, so that could be cool.
Which was a sequel to it was official canon sequel to the John Carpenter's Thing.
Yeah.
So John Carpenter actually came out and said that the story for that game was official canon. So if you want to know what happened to Kurt Russell's character at the end and everything, that game reveals it.
Is it the G.I. Joe, The Wrath of Cobra?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have Steam, I think you can download the demo right now.
Yeah,
I'm curious if
there's a demo on. It's live right now.
Okay. So you guys should try to download it.
Saiyan Spirits Killer Clowns launched on the 4th of June. So it's available now. $40 on Steam.
That movie scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. Holy moly. There's nothing scarier than clowns coming to get you from outer space, no doubt.
That is a true story. I wish Eric was here. Side story. Eric and I did a zombie run in like 2011, 2012. It was like a 5K. But you basically have to run through zombies, and you have flags, and that's how many lives you have. So they pull a flag off, whatever. But we get about halfway through the race, we come around a corner, and there's like 14, 15 clown zombies, and I was like, oh, shit. This is not good. We did not live. We both died at that point, and that was it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Ooh, this scary. I don't know. That soundboard comes in a close second. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to talk about Star Wars? The Acolyte? The Acolyte. I do have a little video of the trailer. Chris put out a video this week. To those of you who are subscribed, if you're not, shame on you. But basically, the gist I got of it from Chris is that you didn't like it. Basically,
I don't like the writing.
You don't like the writing.
I don't like the
agree.
writing. I think the writing is it's
we'll get
it's
to that.
the worst kind of writing when it comes to movies and TV shows. You know, the medium is visual. So through the storytelling of you show things that are going on and you don't tell them, it works so much better. Whereas this, there's so much that's just being like talked about as they're doing it. And, you know, I kind of agree with Yord. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if any of these actors are bad because the writing is just so... Chris, it's so over encompassing as far as like I don't care for it.
Okay, fair enough. Did you see this? This is getting a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
From the critics.
Yeah, from the critics. Yeah. Go to what's the audience?
Well, the audience score is probably something else.
The last time I heard the audience score was 38. I think that was this morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the entire series because the first two episodes, the writing, I was kind of like, this writing is bad, but as far as everything that's going on, it was enough to keep me to, you know, want to see where it's going to go. And I really do like the idea of the High Republic era. We've never seen that in Star Wars movies or TV shows before, so the idea of having it take place during like the peaceful period of time within the galaxy, I'm like, this would be interesting if it's done right. And, you know, maybe as it goes on, it will be one of these things that I'm like, okay, it gets better as it goes along, or it could get worse. I mean, I don't know. I've only seen the first two episodes. So
well, can I just say, like, I don't entirely agree with you, Chris. I thought it was, I didn't think it was bad, but I thought it was meh. So, you know, I want to keep watching it. So I think that's what they want you to do. Is it as good as X-Men 97? That was just on Disney Plus.
Oh.
Probably no. But is this the Star Wars like that I would have wanted? So it's like, basically, the people who haven't seen it, it's a mystery. Like, there's a Jedi that's been killed in the beginning, and they're investigating that. Everyone loves a good murder mystery, right? But I feel like you gotta care about the people that got killed, and they didn't really. You don't have any love for the characters yet. And my gripe is the Jedi just seem like assholes to me. And they're not likable, at least not yet. Now, what would intrigue me if there's some kind of some dissent within the Jedi, that some of them are doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and there's some, you know, like there is a bad evil Jedi that's doing some of this stuff, but who's pulling her strings? And maybe it's one of the Jedi that we've already seen. I don't know. That could be interesting if they go that route. I don't know, but I want to keep watching it too. I don't think it's terrible. I think there's a lot of people on the internet that are just saying that this is woke Star Wars, and I just feel that's not fair. I think there are, you know, I do have some gripes with it, but I think it's watchable. Is it a movie? Could they have done more things to it? Sure. So,
well, I think ultimately with everything since Disney has bought Star Wars from Lucas, it's all watchable, but it is not like there's no cohesion behind any of it. Even The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker all feel like completely disconnected movies that were supposed to be part of a trilogy.
Yeah, but I think you got to separate that from this.
And the only character in any of those that felt like he actually was like fully fleshed out was Kylo Ren. So over the course of those 3 movies, you see his character arc, and it's great. But any of these new ones, like The Mandalorian, I was excited for. I thought the first season was great. Second season wasn't bad. I really love the end of that second season, though, where Luke Skywalker shows up. But they obviously didn't expect Grogu to be as popular as he became. And so, like the Book of Boba Fett, and then
he's getting his own show.
The Mandalorian, they kind of brought him back in, and he felt like he was shoehorned. He should have been gone at the end of season 2.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish they had a little bit more cohesion between all of their rules for the Star Wars shows that Disney's doing, and they just don't feel like they have that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the fact that they're saying this is the gayest Star Wars show, I don't understand that at all.
Well, we haven't seen anything about that yet. Maybe there's something in episode 3, and you know, as far as I know, there's no sex in Star Wars, so I don't know how they portray that, but
I mean, it wouldn't advance the storytelling in any way. So
right.
Wasn't that what people were yelling about though with the original, like, well, not the original, but the latest trilogy that came out? Like, wasn't there some group that was trying to claim that was shoehorned in there somewhere where I didn't see it at all when I watched the movie?
Yeah, possibly.
Like, it
I'm
seems
sure.
like that's always, that there's always going to be, especially in the last couple of years, there's always going to be somebody looking for something, and I think it says more about them than it does the art that they're trying to critique.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of different things about this, mostly negative. So I went ahead and I was like, well, let me watch it and kind of see what I actually think, you know, what all they're saying. I don't think it's as bad as what everyone like is clamoring. Do I think it's great? Like the fight scenes, I think are pretty cool. They're entertaining. There's stuff that doesn't make sense to me. Like the space fire, that was very confusing to me. Like they were just on out the outside. Yeah,
I did. Yeah. When I saw that at first, like I didn't notice it. It wasn't until someone pointed it out on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, you know, you're right. There is no fire in space." So I'll give them credit. Like when I was watching it, like it didn't take me out of the movie. But now, if I rewatch that scene, I'm gonna be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
that was so weird.
Or whenever, like, I'm not gonna try and give away too much stuff, but she ends up in a crashed ship, and there's like just a bunch of like stuff. This scene right here, the ship crashes, and she's in there, and she just like pops up like, "Hey, I'm fine. Like nothing happened." And like I'm just gonna get up and walk away. I'm just like, say no damage. You have complete destruction around you, but you're okay.
That was a movie, that crash scene would have been so much bigger, but it just felt like 5 seconds. The crashed.
Yeah,
he's fine. Move on. I guess that's television.
Yeah. So there was stuff about it. The writing was kind of. I didn't like some of the acting either. It kind of was like just, especially the side characters, like the one Padawan girl. Like I was kind of like her acting. I didn't really care for. But I mean, overall, I don't think it's like horrible, like everyone's saying it is. It's okay.
Dathan, we need your take. Dathan, did you see it?
I watched episode 1. I did not watch episode 2 yet. When it comes to a new TV series or a Disney Plus or whatever, I usually give it 2 episodes. And then if those 2 episodes are decent, then I will continue to invest my time with it. It's pointing right now towards the not gonna invest my time, but I'll watch the second episode and then we'll see. It was pretty generic. I didn't see a whole lot of sense to, it was just okay. Now, was it like CW bad, on some of those shows? No, but it was okay. We'll see.
Yeah. You know what I think they should have done? Well, first of all, they were supposed to be making like a Rogue Squadron movie, and I don't know if that stalled or
It got axed.
They
canceled it.
That seems like a great TV show right there. So they need to revisit that. I would have probably put that ahead of this. And the other like idea I had is they could do a whole TV show about the pod racing in episode 1. I think that would be incredible, and you could have a whole season arc of someone building their ship and doing races every week, and you could do some drama behind the scenes. That seems like a great TV show to me. I don't know. There's a lot of avenues I think they can take with Star Wars, but they need to make sure that they're keeping the brand at a high standard. And I worry that if they do drop it down, they're going to lose audience. I mean, I guess they already have, but it needs to feel exactly like a movie, and that they've spent the time in it, spent the money. You know, I think most of us here cherished Star Wars when we were growing up, and it was, one of our favorite movies, and it brings back a lot of good nostalgia. And it's kind of why I'm spending a lot of time on this, because it seems like everyone's got an opinion on Star Wars too, and everyone hates Kathleen Kennedy. I want everyone on here. We got to say something nice about Kathleen Kennedy, because I'll give her, for all the hate she gets, she's got a tough job. I'll say that you got a tough job manning the franchise. I don't know if she was groomed very much by George Lucas or whoever that you were going to be in charge of this baby, and you better do it right or else. And but she makes a lot of money, so she needs to be prepared for pitchforks when they're coming.
Well, and my understanding is she worked directly with George Lucas up until Disney bought out Lucasfilms. And so,
yeah,
I don't think she's necessarily bad at what she's doing. I think it's just a case of it feels to me like I said with the Disney Star Wars, is there's no cohesion. It doesn't feel like they have any kind of playbook for how they wanted to go forward with the series. And before Force Awakens came out, they were constantly talking about the fact that they had all 3 of those movies written out. They had the storyboards for all of them. Everything was set up. And then we got what we got. And it was like, how much of this was you guys talking out of your ass? Do you guys really know what you were planning on doing? Did you have a plan to begin with? And because, Force Awakens hit so big, it was bigger than they expected. Who knows? But I think if they can, Marvel can have its ups and downs with Kevin Feige. I think there's a chance that we'll get to see Star Wars come back at some point. A ship's gonna get righted one way or another.
Real quick, Dathan, your camera went out, bro.
You guys can't see me?
Nuh-uh. I think Kathleen Kennedy cut your feed.
Uh-oh.
She's onto you.
Oh.
He'll be back. It is fascinating. Everyone's got an opinion about Star Wars.
Well, and what really gets me is the fact that there are so many people out there saying, "Oh, they're ruining my childhood with these new Star Wars," and it's like, well, New Hope hasn't been remade into something else. Empire Strikes Back.
Well, they have done special editions and they have changed things about it. So,
but that was George. That was George Lucas.
I know. See, that's where I always kind of come about with the Disney is ruining Star Wars. Is it's like they took it from somebody who, in my opinion, at the time, being an old school Star Wars fan, was actively trying to ruin his own films. So it's like the whole argument of it's being ruined it goes way back. Like it feels like it goes way back, you know. So in a way, it's like, okay, so who else is going to try to ruin it? Okay, whatever. And we still, if you have the VHS tapes or the Laserdisc, you still have the originals. You can just clutch those all night, you know, and let everybody else have their own thing.
I've also seen The Princess Bride. They're talking about remaking that one, making a new movie, and I'm like, I've still got the original. The original's great. I don't, even if they decide to remake it for a new generation of people, if those people want to go watch it and they love it, good for them. But
isn't it crazy how many there are no original ideas in Hollywood anymore though? Like, and studios, they want that money, they want that bag, they want to play it safe. No one wants to take chances anymore with something original.
Well, I feel like the horror genres where that's happening, not that I'm keeping up on a lot of it, but it seems like I can't go like 2 weeks without hearing a horror fan say, this is an original film by A24, or this is an original idea by Blumhouse. Like, it seems like those two studios do get, Blumhouse not as much as the A24, they get credit for like, oh, this is actually an original concept, this is an original thing. It seems like the horror genres where that is happening more so than like the drama and the action and the, you know what I mean, the mass market stuff.
Well, I think it's also a case of horror in general has always, budget-wise, they've always played it safe.
Yeah.
So it's always been a small budget that they give these directors, writers, and they tell them, you know what, you can go ahead and make your horror movie. Yeah. You're on a shoestring budget. And I think for a lot of it, because of the constraint, you're good to go, Dathan.
Thank you.
That constraint within the budget and everything, they actually do way more than we've seen with, you know, Hollywood blockbusters spending $200-300 million. I mean, look at Godzilla -1. The special effects were $5 million, and they look way better than Godzilla x Kong New Empire, where they spent like $250 million. And it's I think when you start putting a constraint on people, they work outside of the box. They come up with new ideas, different takes, and it usually becomes more impressive than when you're like, here's all the money in the world. Do whatever you want with it. Oh, and while you're at it, if you decide to go ahead and plagiarize somebody else's work, that's fine. We'll go ahead and take care of that too.
Well, the more budget that you get to, the more people that you have that can kind of dictate the way that it's going, right? Like they were talking, I listened to some randomly on a sports talk show. They were interviewing Ed O'Neill of Married with Children. And he was talking about how when he started on that show, it was bought for 12 episodes or something like that, right? A full season. And one of the executive producers was like, that guy's not the guy. And so, and he said, but you can do what you want. And they were speaking about Ed O'Neill as being cast as Al Bundy. And so he came back a week later and they were like, yeah, we went with him. And the executive producer said, no, you didn't. I was joking. And they said, well, we did. And he said, okay, well, instead of 12 episodes, this is now licensed for one pilot. And if it fails or doesn't go through the roof ratings wise, the whole thing's done. And he didn't know that at the time, but luckily for that show, I guess that one pilot did well and they were able to get going. But I guess that kind of shows a little bit of that, you know, the executive producers can really make or break a lot of this stuff. And it seems like when it comes to the bigger budget movies, maybe that's why they're constantly remaking things, because it goes to a test audience. Test audience gives their little scorecard and says, I didn't like the sad ending. So then they go and they refilm that, you know, or they rewrite and refilm that aspect of it. Whereas in like the lower budget horror movies, I guess a little to your point, in that way, it's like, well, you know, as long as it makes back the $38,000 we dumped in it, you know, as long as 50 people watch it in the theater, then I guess we're in the green, right? So, yeah.
So did any of you guys watch the documentary that they did with X-Men 97? I just watched that last week. And it was kind of the same scenario with the original X-Men cartoon in the 90s. They let those people make, I think it was 13 episodes, they said, and then they were all let go at the end of season 1. Like, they had no idea the show would take off. And then it was only after the show really got popular, then they're like, oh, we probably need to hire these people back. And they couldn't quite get everybody back from season 1, which is it's really kind of backwards. But that was before streaming and all that. So if you guys have a chance, watch this. There's I felt like it's an hour long documentary on the making of X-Men 97, and they talk about the old show, and then they talk about going into the new show. Really did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, I wasn't actually though, Chris. I wasn't saying that it's good that the horror genre owns all that, like owns that title right now. I actually wish more that it would be more present in the drama and in the other genres of film right now. It's just, it seems like that's like we discussed, just that last bastion or that last niche of like, hey, that was an interesting idea and that wasn't something I had seen before, sort of thing. Which, well, and I'm lamenting it.
It's kind of sad how much has probably been taken away from a lot of these, artists and auteurs that do films. Somebody comes out and says they want to, back in the day, it used to be you'd go to the studio and you'd say, hey, I have an idea for a movie. And they say, okay, well, we have another movie. You direct this one. If it does well enough, we'll let you make this film. And so there was a lot more give and take for artists to actually put out original ideas and do things. Whereas it seems like nowadays it's kind of the studio says, hey, this IP, we see all these Marvel movies making millions and billions of dollars. You want to direct a movie? It's going to be a Marvel movie. And here's the book in which you have to make sure everything fits into. And it's unfortunate because there probably are a lot of really great ideas out there. And we're missing out on them because of the fact that these studios want to play it safe instead of giving people a chance to put out what they want. But then there's the flip side, like Wonder Woman 84 is a good example of why some people shouldn't be let off a leash and be allowed to make whatever they want.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
Because, Kathleen Bigelow, apparently for that one, nobody stepped in and told her, no, that's a bad idea. And so she was just allowed to go ahead and put out what she wanted. And it's like, did you really think this through? I mean,
is that the one with the cat lady at the end that she fights? Or
the cat lady, and then Chris Pine comes back in somebody else's body. And right. So essentially it's like you're sitting there watching, you're like, wait, is she assaulting a guy like without his consent? All because, she sees Chris Pine's character.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's just, and Wonder Woman wasn't a bad movie. Like, I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman a lot, and so 84 was just like, whoa. Yeah, let's go ahead and not allow some people free reign to do whatever they want.
I kind of had a fear that when Disney had announced that they were going to do a Star Wars show, and then it was obvious to me that the Star Wars wasn't going to be held strictly in the theatrical release format. I kind of worried that they were going to just allow, basically just for budget reasons, just go find any fanfic writer they could and just flood the market with it. Right? Like, just be like, hey, you want to work for $5 an hour because you love Star Wars? Great, let's hire you. And just try to skirt around that, especially because the writer's strike was going on. That I figured that they would do that. I've been pleasantly surprised that they haven't, unless that is where they're finding the series writers that you're getting, right? But it hasn't been that they've just been flooding this stuff out there. It's been seemingly they think it's a good idea. Each one of these, series, right?
That's a good thought. Like, I'm curious how much of the Acolyte was made during the writer's strike, and like
That's what I'm wondering.
How many of these ideas are from the higher ups that are not in the union?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was thinking whenever I was watching it. I'm like, so you went back to kind of the Old Republic 100 years before Star Wars, and you could literally tell any story you wanted in the Star Wars universe. Kind of like it's your sandbox, and this is what we got. Like that's kind of I was like, you could have. It's not the worst thing, but I'm like, you probably could have done better. like that's all I'm thinking.
Do you have the Dune bucket, dude? Oh, and by the way, that Wolverine Deadpool bucket is real.
I know, but I'm like,
we had a whole debate last week of whether that was fake or not, or is that
no, it's
troll.
Real. Yeah,
that is real, God. Dude.
Well, it's a troll, but it's still real.
That's amazing troll.
Yeah,
that's I don't even want to know what people are going to put on OnlyFans with that thing.
Someone in the chat was talking about Jason. He said that movie theaters are empty right now. Do you guys Chris, you go to the theater a lot. Do you feel like the movie theater is empty a lot for when you go?
It depends on the movie. So far this year, I would say everything after Godzilla X Kong has been fairly empty.
Yeah.
Furiosa, we went and saw it, and there were quite a few rows that were empty for that one, but it was a great movie. It was just unnecessary. It's like 10 years too late for that one.
I think some of these there's some bangers that are coming up here. So we got Deadpool, Wolverine. Is that July?
Yeah.
And Despicable Me 4, my kids want to see that, so I think that's going to make a lot of money. The Alien movie is August, and seems like there was something else coming out.
I think Quiet Place Day 1 is going to do something.
Oh,
I think that might do well.
There's a new Quiet Place coming out, like the
Yep,
that'd be cool.
That's cool.
Dune was dead. Jason, get out of here. Dune was amazing. Go see. That's going to be
I think he means the attendance in the thing, right?
Oh, okay.
In the theater. Yeah.
Well, at least they got their popcorn bucket, dude.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I think it's hard too because all the streaming services, especially if it's like a Disney movie or the DC movies, it was like, well, in like a month it's going to be on one of those, so I'm just going to wait till it comes out on there, and I'm just going to watch it then instead of going to the theater and spending $100 to watch it. That's what I do a lot. I have 2 kids, so I don't really go to the theater very much. I'm always just like, that'll be on Disney Plus in like a month, so I'll just watch it then. It's kind of how I do it.
I didn't watch Dune in theaters because it's almost 3 hours, and that's a long time to be sitting there in a.
I hate that feeling when you got to go pee,
and
you're not done with the movie.
It was a lot of those movies that are just a couple hours. Those are perfect. I think the Deadpool is a little over 2 hours, 2 hours and 12 minutes or something like that. So that's gonna be perfect. But those Dunes that are 3 hours, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's hard to sit there in a movie theater for anything longer than an hour and a half anymore for me. But I still love going to see movies, and if I have to rewatch them, I'll do that. But yeah, Dune 2, for example, was one that I left the theater twice to go to the bathroom, and it was like, did I miss something? Yeah. And I'm like, catch it back on the next time I watch it, but if it's an hour and a half long, I can sit there in the movie, sit through it, and leave. anything longer than that. And
you're crazy if you buy like the extra large soda drink at the movie theater. Like, I don't know what. Maybe I could do that when I was younger. No way now. Like, I'm getting the small every time. Every time. Anyway, breaking news, guys. Adam, Dark Empire is still awake.
That's fantastic. We're glad you're still here with us.
We don't know how. It's kind of a mystery.
That's why.
You need the intro to Unsolved Mysteries. That'd be better.
That'd be good.
That would be better.
I still like this one.
It's too loud.
Is it too loud?
It's too loud.
You guys are old. I got a couple other ones if you guys want to hear them. I got the Mission Impossible sound here. It goes on. All right.
Did you guys see the trailer for Screenbound?
No.
It was one of the games that was announced. It's one of the ones that I'm most interested in. It's a first-person game where you're playing with a Game Boy Advance console for all the 2D side-scrolling aspects, but it's in a 3D world. Huh. So as you try and traverse it, you have to like use both screens to see where you're going. It looks interesting. Check out a trailer for that one. And then there was No More Room in Hell 2. If you like the Left 4 Dead series.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was 8-player co-op, right? 8 players.
Yep.
I saw that. What was the game that the trailer got released, but then it got pulled on
Slitterhead
really quick?
Yeah. I didn't even get to see the trailer. I just remember I retweeted it as soon as I saw it, and then I went back on my break this morning to watch it, and they deleted it.
Why?
I saw some screenshots. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the creator of Silent Hill. That's his new one.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of a mystery.
So was it like too offensive or to people? Is that why they did it?
No, I bet they announced it too early. I think. I don't know. Maybe they'll announce it at the Xbox showcase on Sunday.
Yeah.
No, they announced it Summer Game Fest. They had the trailer for it.
They did. They just announced
three hours later after they dropped the trailer and then pulled it.
They didn't want to spend the $250,000 for a 1-minute trailer.
Oh yeah. So did you guys hear that? So if you wanted a 1-minute video or trailer at the Summer Game Fest, $250,000. A minute and a half was $350,000, and if you wanted 2 minutes, $500,000, $500,000. Wow, holy moly!
You know, we should start our own Summer Game Fest.
Jeff Keighley is making bank.
You know, you want us to show your trailer on our stream? It's going to cost you $500,000.
Oh, and my son made the most astute observation about this whole Summer Game Fest thing today. Did you guys know it's not even summer yet? It's not summer until June 20th. Yeah, so why are we calling it the Summer Game Fest? It should be still the Spring Game Fest. I'm like, you know, son, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Anyway. Do you guys have any predictions for the Xbox show on Sunday? I know we won't be able to meet up till next week. It'll be a couple days after. But are you guys expecting any announcements, maybe?
Fable 4.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some Fable.
Gears of War.
Gears of War would be freaking
there'll
awesome.
be a very extensive Call of Duty.
Yep.
Maybe Indiana Jones footage, some more of that. That's all I can really think of right now.
Yeah,
Don't you
I
guys
got
talk
nothing.
once?
I got
No,
nothing for it because
I think that would be the ones. Like, it's got to be kind of a Hail Mary to kind of save the look of the Xbox, right? So it's got to be all the big titles out there.
Yeah.
Maybe some change to Game Pass.
A new Conker's Bad Fur Day game, maybe. Hopefully.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, I don't think there's any way they put that out. I think that's too out there for him now.
I wouldn't mind seeing some more footage of NCAA 2025, but I think that's EA is going to take care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll separate it through Xbox, even though it's only a month away.
Yeah, they're not paying that $500,000 to. Well, I'm curious. Maybe if you're a partner with Xbox, maybe you don't need to pay something like that with them. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, and there is a rumored Halo remake from Halo 1, and they might be porting it to PlayStation 5. So that's I don't know if they'll announce that on Sunday. That'd be pretty wild if they do.
So just the first one? Do you think it's going to be this? They're saying all the Halo games announced for PS5. Like,
yeah, Alikrian, that's what he's saying. Oh, okay. Autocorrect.
Has there ever been a Halo collection, like an Ultimate collection?
Yeah,
they did do the first 3.
No, it's more than the first 3. It's got Reach. It's got 4. I think it just doesn't have 5, and it doesn't have Halo Infinite on it.
Okay,
That was
they did
years
ago. They did a Gears of War Ultimate collection. I think it had the first 3. I think maybe Judgment was on there. If I can't remember.
Wouldn't that make sense for them to do a remake of the original Gears of War before they do a new Gears of War? I mean, I don't know how many guys played Gears 5. It was okay, but they really need to go back to those first couple ones. Yeah.
I didn't finish it. But I did play it.
Yeah.
We might get the Switch 2 announcement at Nintendo's.
Yeah. So when do you think that the Nintendo Direct is dropping? So maybe Tuesday, Wednesday? We'll see.
You think that soon? Right after Microsoft? Or you might let Microsoft stew for a week or 2.
They might. I don't know. We could place bets on it here.
Let's see.
I don't think it's gonna be till July. I don't think it's gonna be this month.
Is the Switch 2 coming out the end of the year, or is that next year?
No, it's coming out the beginning of the next fiscal year for Nintendo, which
it'll be March. It'll be the first quarter in probably middle of March.
They do have to announce it eventually. Well, I think they've announced it in their investor briefings, but they haven't done like a announce exactly what the hardware is kind of trailer and what games would be on it. Yeah.
You mentioned anything, and Jason's just like, "Boop! Here's the answer."
Jason's had his coffee tonight.
Yeah.
I think Dark Empire's falling asleep. Hey, we got Galaga Guy 88. He's on the. Are you on the East Coast?
Yes, I am. It is. It's about a quarter after 1 a.m. right now. So
you guys got to stop complaining.
Yeah. Getting a little low on my coffee.
Still no advanced backwards compatibility, but I think they're using the same video chip. I think they definitely got to be doing backwards compatibility with the original Switch. People are going to throw a fit.
As long as they keep the cartridges, I think they can obviously do it.
Maybe we get Metroid Prime 4. That's the hope.
But I think if they really want to play with people, they just have the CEO of Nintendo sit in a room with stacks full of cash and talk about how much money they've made and not announce anything at all.
Well, yeah, they probably could. They could probably be dead silent for the rest of the year, and they'd still make more money than Microsoft and Sony. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah. Well, anyway, do you guys have any final thoughts? Good show tonight. No,
I got nothing. Just looking forward to Sunday's Xbox showcase.
Yeah. So what time is that? Is that like 11 a.m.?
I think it's at 10.
10. Yeah, they usually have it earlys on Sundays. This is the first year in a couple years I did not get an invite to the show. The last 2 years, because I'm an Xbox ambassador, I actually got a ticket to the show. I couldn't go because it's in LA, and I applied for it this year. They did not give me one this year. So maybe it's because I got a
10 a.m.
podcast with you guys. Yeah, 10 a.m. So yeah, they don't. Oh, okay. You guys want me to talk about the Twitter troll?
Yeah. I was like, what about the Twitter troll? That's why I want to talk about that.
Well, this morning at 4 a.m., I'm just I should be working, but I'm on my phone. There was an article. Maybe I can find the article here. Shit. Now, what was that game we were playing? Chris, help me out here. Now I'm gonna.
Is it Hellblade? Is that the one you're talking about?
Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
There was an article this morning by VGC saying that only 13% of people had beaten the game. Now, that's wild because the game is pretty much a walking simulator. It's a 7-hour walking simulator, and you have to deal with some puzzles and there's fighting, but it's not hard. It's more of a visual experience. You get the headphones. It sounds and looks amazing. The gameplay isn't like, it's not probably up to everyone's standards, but I think it's worth a playthrough. Like, it's like, this is like the next generation of kind of movies, I think. But only 13% of Xbox gamers had beaten the game. Now, if you bought it on PC, the rate is much higher. I believe it was like 44 or 54% of PC gamers that had bought the game, not on Game Pass, had beaten it. So that shows you right there the effect of Game Pass. You try out a game, maybe you didn't like it, you just stop playing. And I think Chris does. You do this a lot, Chris, with Game Pass. Like, I'll try it for 5 seconds, and if it's no good, it doesn't click, move on. And that's the beauty of Game Pass. But at the same time, this game is a lot of people are achievement hunters. If you want some easy achievements, just play this game. It's just like you just got to spend a few hours with it. But only 13% of people had completed the game. So VGC puts out an article sharing that information. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. This guy said this is bad journalism with this guy I was getting into on Twitter or X, that this is bad journalism, and this is why video game journalism is so terrible right now. It's just they can't come up with these original articles, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is exactly I find fascinating. So maybe it's Chris, you made the comment earlier, like maybe it's not the best journalism, but what are you expecting? Are we expecting like Watergate? We were expecting to find out that they've broken into the Democratic, files, and it's like, what are you expecting? This is video game stuff. We want to talk about video game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking news: Kathleen Kennedy created Hellblade 2.
Oh my God!
Can we ruin Xbox?
You're gonna get my AI short program going here with just talking about Kathleen Kennedy. People hate her. My God. But yeah, I don't think it's bad journal. I think it's it's modern. You want to find out this kind of information. Like it is interesting when you beat a game, how many other people have beaten the game. And this is such an easy game, but only 13% of people have actually done it. This is interesting. So anyway, so sometimes at 4 a.m, if I get into it with somebody on Twitter, I'm usually a very nice person, but he thought I was on the spectrum. So
that's what happens when you don't agree, with those people on X. You got to agree with everything, otherwise you're on the spectrum.
Yeah, you can't change anyone's opinion, for sure. Same thing with politics and all this. Everyone's so up in arms.
You heard it here, folks. Next week, Politics 101 with Ryan, the Garage Gamer.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I do like the fact that Xbox Game Showcase is going to not have Call of Duty as a part of it. It's going to be separate afterwards. So maybe we won't get 2 hours of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 throughout it, and we'll actually get different games.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, it almost feels like they're filling a void to me. Like, there's no big game like Indiana Jones. You couldn't have spent maybe not an hour, but a good 20 minutes would have been interesting on it.
It doesn't really say what all they're going to have. Just says world premieres, anticipated games, play day 1. Usual PR schlock, I guess you could say. But
it's a mystery.
They're probably saving the hour for the surprise announcement of Fusion Frenzy 5 or whatever 3.
Fusion Frenzy was a great game.
Rebirth. The rebirth of Fusion Frenzy.
I would totally.
I love Fusion Frenzy.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said, look, now there's obviously a huge market for it.
Yeah, even Adam Dark Empire thinks so. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think he's probably starting to fall asleep, and then you play your little soundboard, and it just wakes him up.
You know what? They just need to do it.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
He's so crazy.
Nathan, I almost got a smile out of you. There we go.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. You're playing Diablo. Nice. How's the new season of Diablo 4, Adam?
Just terrible, horrible, worst thing ever.
I need 20 subs.
Whatever.
Well, I guess I'm back down to 0. Damn it, Ryan.
Anyway, guys, thank you for. We'll wrap it up right there. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Next week we'll definitely talk about Xbox. We'll talk about maybe we'll talk about episode 3 of the Acolyte, and Galaga Guy 88. I want to thank you, sir, for coming on and listen to us jibber jabber.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's been a fun time.
Everyone go subscribe to his channel. He talks a lot about the home arcade stuff. He just did a mod on his Arcade 1-Up Star Wars that looks doable. I've still got my Star Wars, but I haven't turned it on in a while, so that could be a reason for you to revisit some of your machines. And we appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And got that one going. We have videos on there with my wife. A lot of those are on there too. It's always a good time. So check it out.
Yeah, go subscribe to his channel, Galaga Guy 88. We got Chris. You're always putting out some good videos on Asa Jack's Media Grounds. So I can't wait for your episode 3 review, and keep it going, bro.
And I figured out some new audio tricks, so my next video should be much easier. You know,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, Galaga guy, you've been featured on the Rextra show. Congratulations.
Yes.
I have blocked that guy. So
yeah, that's two of us. But yeah. I always thought you've made it whenever you got on the Rexter show, and it was like the next week he was like Galaga guy, and I was like, oh, I made it. So that's how that happened.
Yeah. Nah, don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah.
Some of these people don't know how to talk to people. So
yeah.
Yeah. Jason. Thank you everyone for being in the chat. Travis, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dathan looks like he's gonna fall asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Work
you
at
gotta
6 a.m., 5 a.m. run. So.
Oh yeah, he's a marathon runner. So you're doing good, bro. All right. So that's all we got. We will see you guys next week. And peace out, guys. We'll see you next time.